Wonderful. Well, welcome everyone to today's webinar hosted by Caring.com with our special guest, WelcomeHome. WelcomeHome is one of the many CRM platforms that we partner with closely to integrate Caring referrals into their software. And today we'll be discussing how integrating your Caring online referrals into your CRM can help you convert those digital leads into more move-ins. And we'll have special insights from the CRM experts themselves. As we begin, I'd like to cover a few housekeeping items for today's webinar. This is a one-way webcast, meaning that only the presenters from Caring and WelcomeHome will have video and audio throughout today's presentation. However, we'd still love to hear from you. So at any point throughout the webinar, if you have a question, please use the Q&A section within Zoom, and we'll be answering those questions live at the end of our presentation today. One of the most common questions that we do receive is, will this webinar be recorded? And the answer is yes. We are recording today's presentation, and we will distribute out both the recording and the slides following the presentation. So first, let's kick it off with some introductions. So just real quick, my name is Olivia Duke. I'm the Director of B2B Marketing here at Caring. Throughout my career, I focused on performance marketing, specifically search engine marketing. So in today's presentation, I'm going to touch on that online searcher's journey, as well as serve as the moderator for our Q&A later. More importantly, we are very excited to have Teddy Helfrich from WelcomeHome here with us today, and he'll be joining on as an expert for how to leverage your CRM to boost conversion on Caring referrals. So Teddy, I'll let you introduce yourself to the group.
Thanks, Olivia. Yeah, I'm Teddy. I'm the bearded version of that picture there. I'm the VP Sales and Marketing at WelcomeHome. And you know, prior to all this, I was in the Navy and have been in sales for a long time. And the things that really get me excited are process improvement, being my roles in past lives. So I am just super excited to showcase how I think we can improve this integration better and make you guys convert leads at a higher clip, which I think everybody can get excited about. So thanks so much for having me, Olivia. Excited to talk about WelcomeHome and help people convert more leads.
Absolutely. It's great to have you. So this free webinar today is brought to you by Caring.com. And I think a lot of people on here should be familiar with Caring, but just in case you aren't already, Caring is a leading online resource for senior living and senior care. Our organization was founded by caregivers for caregivers. Our flagship website, Caring.com, was created and launched in 2007 to equip those family caregivers to make better decisions, save time and money, and feel less alone and less stressed when, making those decisions for providing senior care for their loved ones. And today we have a portfolio of websites and referral services that millions of people use to research senior living. And thousands of senior living communities and in-home care agencies partner with Caring to reach their target audience who is actively looking online for care solutions. One of the many reasons that care seekers turn to Caring is for our high integrity reviews program. We have over 350,000 reviews, with over 50,000 added just in 2021 alone. So that number is growing very quickly. And as I mentioned, we are very excited to partner with WelcomeHome as an example of how you can integrate your Caring referrals into your CRM. So Teddy, can you tell us more about the platform?
Sure. WelcomeHome was founded in 2019. We were the newest CRM in the senior living space. We were built dedicated specifically to senior living because we saw that there was a gap in the industry where products weren't being able to provide what other CRMs and other industries were. So we spent an entire year listening to community users all the way up to the investment partners, figuring out what are the things that you need in a CRM to actually help you do your job, being that senior living is such an emotionally fraught and complex sales cycle. And so the things that we focused on were the CRM needs to be super easy to use. So what we have is a CRM that's the easiest to use at all levels, from the community user all the way up. You needed to be able to do your job from anywhere, while you're giving a tour, while you're helping out in the dining facility. So we wanted to leverage the mobile app. So we built a mobile app. Everything you can do on WelcomeHome, you can do on the go. And then we wanted to save you time. As I mentioned, you're wearing many hats. So we've automated a lot of the processes that are the mundane tasks that really sap your energy and take a lot of time. They're still very important. Sending a tour reminder email to a prospect before a tour, that's very important, but a computer can do that for you. So we wanted to take a lot of those administrative tasks out of your hands and just save you, on average 6 hours a week. And then we wanted to provide unlimited users and unlimited free training so that you have the ability to know all the best practices and how to use Welcome Home without having to, have a barrier in order to get in touch with us. We're in roughly 1,500 communities and growing. And we're just super excited to highlight how any CRM integrated with Caring can help you drive more leads. But obviously, I'm biased in particular, and Welcome Home is great as well.
Absolutely. And we've seen a couple questions come through already. Just a reminder, we will be answering those at the end of the presentation. But a couple of the ones that have already come through, it's specific to different CRMs. And I think just as we go through today's presentation, Teddy's going to share some insights that definitely apply to all, and then he'll share some that are specific to Welcome Home and their software too. Great. So how we will get going today, first we're going to start by walking through the online referral journey. So how do seniors or their loved ones find Caring websites, and what is their interaction like with Caring, and what conversations are they having before they even become a referral? Then Teddy will cover the key benefits and performance gains that come with a CRM integration. And he'll also be walking through some of the best practices that come or that you can apply to your Caring referrals and drive performance even further. So we're going to talk about really some stepping stones you can take into boosting that conversion. And as mentioned, we will use what time we have left at the end of the presentation to host a live Q&A session and address any of the questions submitted throughout today. If we do run out of time, though, we'll follow up over email for sure. So now let's start at the beginning by walking through the online referral journey, because that's going to set the tone around, what these online referrals may have seen and the conversations that they could have had before they even have the opportunity to land in their CRM. And for the vast majority of these online referrals, they're starting with a search. And in the United States, there are more than 15,000 searches per hour related to senior living and senior care. That's per hour. We've seen this number increase drastically over the past 5 years. And given demographic trends, we only expect it to continue to increase into the next decade. So now let's dive deeper into these searches. It's important to note that 67% of the searches are for generic terms. This means that searchers don't know what they're looking for. Most of the time, they don't have a specific community in mind. They don't even have, a brand or reference to go off of. They're looking for what options even exist. So on top of that, they probably don't even know the kind of care level that they need. For instance, one of the highest volume keywords that we see, it involves nursing homes. When most of these folks, they are probably thinking something along the lines of IL, AL in their mind, but they don't even know the terms to use to search. They're just looking for help. And these high-level generic searches, that's where Caring comes into play. So the content that we provide is meant to help educate that early searcher on the type of care they may need and offer a comprehensive list of options by location and by care level. So looking at these searches, you can see why we'd receive a lot of this early traffic, with many of our websites ranking not just on the first page, but in those top 6 listings.
Yeah, I think for me, I was born in the 80s, so I guess that makes me a millennial. But I always, with anything, I'm always searching best XYZ, and I'm looking for lists. I guess that makes sense that these would be the top searches. That's why people are coming from Caring. Yeah, I absolutely resonate with this piece.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it extends beyond the millennials too. But I invite everybody here to think about, how do you decide how to book a hotel or book a flight? How do you make a big purchase decision like buying a home or buying a car? Even something as simple as, what do I want to stream tonight? What do I want to watch on TV? you're likely going to an aggregator to help you make that decision, or at least influence that decision. And the reason that we do that is because we can see a broad view of the options that are available. They're conveniently just in that one place. We're more likely to trust reviews and information when it is compiled by a third party, because we see that as impartial versus coming from, the company themselves. And also because these sites do offer more information and they engage, the consumer to in that discovery process to search around. They are rewarded by search engines like Google in search results, and therefore have a higher amount of traffic as well. So let's look at the full journey of an online searcher and how they come across Caring. So for this example consumer, they searched assisted living near me on Google, and they clicked Caring.com's organic search result, and it showcased, the number of options in their area. And then after exploring several community pages, they call into Caring, and they call into our team of family advisors. So on that phone call, the family advisor is going to have a thorough conversation about their level of care needs. They're going to ask all about their ADLs, and we'll also ask a series of questions to narrow in on their budget, what their potential budget range would be. And then based on this conversation, that family advisor will refer them to, on average, 4 communities and send over the consumer's information to those communities. So now that we have, covered the journey, this is where your CRM integration can come into play. So at this point, I will hand it over to Teddy to talk about how that CRM integration can help you convert this online referral.
Absolutely. And just even starting off from the first sense, we at WelcomeHome, we produce a lot of benchmarks and data reports so everyone can understand industry trends. And one of the things that we've seen is there is a rise in the number of leads that are coming through aggregated sources like Caring, right? So it is an increased reliance in digital in the consumer right now, and they're coming through sources such as Caring. So if you have a non-integrated experience right now, which judging by some of the Q&A you might have, this is probably going to resonate with you, which is the referrals are currently being sent to select email addresses. So not necessarily to everybody, and so you could run up on issues if people are on vacation or if you have turnover or anything like that. It requires updating those contacts for new employees to receive the leads. And basically team emails can create sort of jump balls where whoever can grab it, right? You're not getting a very organized, I talked about process improvement, right? Efficient process of who responds to when, and they're coming to your email, which depending on if you have email notifications set up, maybe it is stuck in that email inbox and you don't realize that you had it while you were doing tours. Or things like that, and let alone, it's been 4 hours that the email is sitting, or 9 hours. So you may not be as well equipped to respond in an efficient manner. So that is like the current non-integrated experience that I feel like some people are seeing. And the next one is when we talk about CRM integrations, what do we really mean? Now, CRM integration with Caring is not unique to WelcomeHome, so you should be asking questions in the Q&A to Olivia and everyone, about how to get this set up. But what we mean by a CRM integration is Caring's platform and their family advisors are able to seamlessly refer over these prospective family members through automation into your CRM, and how you get automatic notifications from mobile apps or things of that nature, where you can instantly see a lead come in, be able to see all the information that you need, have it auto captured, and be able to go ahead and outreach to that prospect. What that helps with ultimately is the ability to have referrals that are visible to all CRM users. WelcomeHome, as an example, has unlimited users. So all users can see that, which can help solve the vacation or the turnover problem. But it also just creates a very seamless way to get that information in one spot, as opposed to having to take an email, copy and paste it, put it in your database, and understand what's going on. So you want those to flow automatically in. And you want to be able to view and act on that lead in one platform so that you're not wasting time doing different activities. And then you want to be able to receive updates from caring family advisors on the status of the potential resident. And you want to have a good relationship with your family advisor. And we'll talk a little bit about this. But things that this is going to improve on are your speed to lead, as well as just the overall user experience from both your end as well as your prospective family member. And we'll talk a little bit about that in the follow-on slides. So in terms of what it means for non-integrated partners as well as integrated partners for caring, if you have an integrated CRM, you are receiving a 2x conversion rate for your leads. And I can tell you right off the bat that the reason for that is, by nature, anyone who has come through caring is going to be a competitive lead for you. And guess what? Generally, the person who can respond the fastest and the most respectfully in all these different ways is going to be the one who's going to win that lead. So if you're not integrating your CRM, there's a high likelihood that you're not the first one to be able to reach out to that family member. Perfect. So when we talk about the built-in WelcomeHome CRM integration, there are some key things that you want, right? Very first off the bat, we want to talk about duplicates. You can auto check for duplicates because at the end of the day, you want to get leads. Caring wants to provide you leads. Family advisors want you to have it. But there's also the natural ability to want to know, hey, I've already got this person in my CRM. They've already inquired, and the CRM auto checked that for me. So that way it saves you time from searching through your database to see if you've already been in contact with this person, and your finance team will like that as well. Almost 4x more likely to convert a lead if you can respond in less than 5 minutes. There's a bunch of stats around your speed to lead time. If you can respond in less than 1 minute, guess what? It goes up. But by hour 24, you have a 17% chance to convert that lead. So it is a huge, huge thing to be able to be responsive. Your prospects and their family members, they correlate how fast you're responding to their initial inquiry with how fast and timely and caring you are going to be when they're actually in your community. Because quite frankly, the psychology behind it is, if I'm potentially reaching out to offer you money and you can't dedicate the time right now to get to me in a timely manner, then what are you going to do when you've already got me on a signed contract? So it's really important to be responsive, to be attentive, and to be personal. We're going to talk about how you can be more personal a little bit later, because guess what? You're an extension to their family. And so they're trusting you to take care of them like family. So we want to give you the ways to reach out in a more personal manner. So the other thing about WelcomeHome is specific to WelcomeHome is we have the mobile app so that you can respond instantly from anywhere, which really helps out if you're giving a tour that you can go ahead and respond as opposed to being out there. So which brings us to this, right? The WelcomeHome difference is a good segue, probably intended. The communities that use the mobile app with WelcomeHome are averaging a 1.5x higher conversion rate on caring referrals. That's in addition to, the 2x of having an integrated versus non-integrated CRM. So being able to respond from anywhere in a seamless manner is going to go ahead and get you there. We're going to talk about some strategies and some playbooks on how to deal with leads that are by nature competitive. But very first step is you want to be the first person to actually get to talk to that family member because you set the tone for the rest of their journey in this process.
Absolutely. And I think Teddy brought up some great points about, this is a competitive referral given they're looking for options. We saw from their journey that they didn't know where to begin. And so they're obviously considering what's out there. And I think a lot of the tips that we'll talk through, they can help you across all of your referrals, across all of your leads. But in particular, we want to make sure that, we're practicing these on caring referrals. So Teddy, tell us about your top tips for the caring playbook.
Sure. Yeah, I think that some of the things that we're going to talk about with the caring playbook as it relates to is just the nature of the lead that is coming from Caring. When you get a lead from Caring, I believe, Olivia, correct me if I'm wrong, on average, right, the referrals, could be about, was it four? Is it four family members?
Exactly.
Yeah, four communities rather. So when you see a lead, there's a rise in the digital leads that are coming on. You have to treat digital leads as if they're just as good as if they walk into your door, because people essentially are coming to digital leads, and they're doing that more often these days than walking in. It's just the nature of the times. COVID actually saw a rise in these digital leads. So when you get a caring.com lead, you need to treat it as a real lead, and you need to treat it as a competitive lead. You should know by nature that there's going to be maybe 3 other communities that are also receiving the same lead. So we talked about being the first to respond has the advantage. But what I also want to say is, either if you can't be the first to respond and you are later down the road, you want to go ahead and acknowledge that they've probably had phone calls from other communities, right? It is okay to say, hey, I know you worked with a family advisor and they essentially have referred you to places that might be a good fit. I want to be respectful of your time and your journey. I think that based on the information that I have seen, I would like to talk more. But it's okay to acknowledge that they're being reached out by other people, because in some cases that may be overwhelming to certain people, if it is, and they may be not that ready to have that conversation with so many people yet. So if you're able to acknowledge it and you're able to talk about it, it's the first step to opening up an honest and trustworthy experience for them. But again, if you were the first one to call, you can also acknowledge, hey, I really want to help you. I want to guide you. I want to find the perfect fit for you. By the way, you are likely going to receive calls from other communities that want to do the same. I just want to open up an open line of transparency between us about truly finding the best place for your loved one or yourself. And if that's not going to be me, I'll even tell you that first. It establishes trust. It goes with it. It opens up to the fact that you understand what they're going through. But again, you're always going to have the best chance to close that lead if you're the first one to set the tone for that whole journey and that whole process for them.
Absolutely.
Sure. So the next thing I want to talk about is creating a feedback loop. I think this is really important with the family advisors, is because it is not a good experience for you or the prospective family member if the family advisor isn't educated about your community and what a qualified resident is for you, and if they keep coming over and they're not the ideal fit for your community. So what you want to be able to do, and what is enabled through CRM integrations with Caring, is establish a feedback loop to the family advisor to say, this was actually a great fit for my community. I would appreciate more leads like this. Or, hey, guess what? This was not a great fit for my community. I don't really want leads of this nature. The reason that that'll be important for you is it's going to save you so much time on having to deal with less qualified leads that otherwise are never going to move in. So if you have this integrated with your CRM, you should be able to see reports in your lead source analysis reports, and you should be able to understand your conversion rates for Caring leads, and you should be able to dive in and even see the demographics about the types of leads that are converting, so that you can have a conversation with your family advisor and say, guess what? This is the type of person that is most likely going to move into my community. That's going to make it really a good experience for your family advisor. And honestly, that's going to empower them more to maybe to look at, I don't want to speak out of turn, Olivia, but right, that's probably going to enable them a little bit more to understand your community better, and maybe you move to the top of the list of certain leads, right? Mm-hmm. And then what it's also going to do is it allows them to understand rates and community information. Guess what? Welcome Home's pricing is directly on our website. Pricing information is something that people want to know. You're still going to get the at bat to talk to them, but being transparent in that allows them to open up and understand that you're going to be transparent in other aspects of your business. And I think it's sometimes a controversial topic in pricing. We could have a whole nother webinar just on pricing transparency, but it is very clear that you want to understand what a qualified lead is, so that everybody is, maintaining the most effective use of their time. And then finally, you want to leverage the event planner. So Welcome Home specifically has a dedicated event planner in it where you can send RSVPs to your referral partners out for events so that you can include them. And so they can actually come to the events that you have. They can see your community. They can see how you interact with it. You can track how well they're referring you and the quality of leads that are moving in so that you can understand, guess what, by educating them more about my community and the type of things I have going on, they were better equipped to talk to family members that maybe otherwise weren't going to find me. Those are kind of some key things, but the feedback loop is key because at the end of the day, everyone's time matters. The family advisor, yours, as well as the resident.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to note that feedback loop, it does go two ways. And so we encourage the feedback, coming to caring of, you'd be surprised, rates do change. And are you thinking, oh, I've got to go update my profile with caring? Probably not all the time. And so especially with COVID impacts and everything and what we're experiencing now, if your rates change, make sure we know so that we can get to the qualified referrals that you're looking for. And then also you do get updates from caring when you're integrated with the CRM of if we've heard back from someone else that this particular senior decided to go with a different community. We push that through so you can save time, as well as if, something happens and say they're deceased or something along the lines, then we'll push that information through too, so that it can handle it sensitively as well. And, I think the time, commit, like we talked about, the CRM can help automate a lot of this time input by helping you identify and helping you work through these faster. And that's something that we do here is, when comparing, they're not apples to apples, someone who's heard about you and coming directly to you versus someone who's shopping around. But we do hear about that, oh, our team isn't big enough or we don't have the time. One thing I just want to point out is you haven't invested $1 in this lead, ideally, because, our model is on that pay-per move-in for a new resident. So just thinking about it from that sense of you get out what you put in kind of thing. So working the lead, speed to lead, that can certainly help you get more out of these online referrals and boost your occupancy in return.
And I think having an honest conversation about the lead that's coming from caring, if you're honest to yourself that it's a competitive lead and by nature that you're going to have a lower conversion rate, you just need to know that because it is a competitive lead. You're not the only one they know about. Guess what? If you're the only one they know about, generally you're going to have a much higher conversion rate. So obviously you want to continue to put efforts into those sort of activities to find those people. But with the increase of people that are coming through digital means and specifically caring, you want to treat that lead, you want to care about that lead because guess what? At the end of the day, you want to be the community that can provide the best service to them, and you want to be the one that wins that competition.
Absolutely. So to cover some of the key takeaways that we've had today, first and foremost, integrate your referrals into your CRM platform to boost conversion. The numbers don't lie. There's a huge lift when you are integrating those online referrals into your CRM. The second is that you can increase that even further with your speed to lead and drive that conversion rate even higher. And you see that play out with use of the mobile app on Welcome Home's platform, as well as just what they've seen in that first 5 minutes response time and the lift that drives as well. And then finally, create and hone your caring sales playbook and just understand that this is a customer who is looking at different options. And when you address that, as Teddy mentioned, and you change your strategy accordingly, you're going to drive better results and more move-ins as well. All right, wonderful. Well, that officially kicks off our Q&A portion of today's webinar. And we do have some questions that have already come through, but please keep submitting if you have questions as well. And I will say, A couple of these questions are about specific CRMs and does Caring integrate with these particular CRMs. I will say Caring integrates with roughly 20 different CRMs, and I don't know them all off the top of my head. I apologize. But we are going to provide you with contact information. If you're already partnered with Caring, partnersuccess@caring.com, or our manager for our integration team, Maddie Outen, MAUTEN @caring.com. They can help you address those questions specifically and get you started in that process.
I think one of the questions that we can talk about was about calling the referral rep before calling the lead in the process. My suggestion on that is if you have the integration with the CRM, you should be receiving a robust amount of detail about the prospect. And if you have a relationship already with your family advisor, you can sort of understand the things that they've already said to the prospective family. I would tell you, if you can build that relationship first and you understand the data that's coming through, that I wouldn't call the family advisor first, to be honest with you. I wouldn't waste those precious moments. I would call that prospective family member, and I would go ahead and start by saying, hi, such and such has referred you to our community. I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about us and find out, what your needs are. And I want to have a conversation around that. By the way, you're likely going to be receiving some more phone calls. So I want to be respectful of your time, and let's go. Right. And the key is always to set up an actual call. If you've listened to any of my other webinars, face-to-face is always key. I would encourage you to set up a Zoom call or an in-person as soon as you possibly can before those next calls flow in and other people are trying to do the same thing. So I would always say you can call that person first, and then if you need to, if something else comes up, then maybe call your referral rep and go from there. But if you already have that relationship with your referral rep, you kind of should know already what the information is being said.
Completely agree, Teddy. The information that comes over with the referral should have a solid recap of, what was it about their ADLs that caused, them to lean a certain way in their referral, or notes on their budget. But I think, there's a follow-up question of some of these conversations are uncomfortable to have. So even just addressing, oh, I know you spoke to us, I just want to make sure we get it right for you, or something along those lines, of building off of that conversation in a way that's natural, and also just understanding we might not have received the, I guess, spot on accurate question when it came to money or budget or something. That might take a little bit more probing, and just know that we try to have as deep of a conversation as we can without stalling somebody from getting in contact with you directly. In talking to your community.
Absolutely. Yeah, at the end of the day, you have the answers, right? And so when you approach it as, I understand you talk to the family advisor, I'd be happy to clarify anything that maybe you need, tell me a little bit more. They wrote over these things, but I kind of want to hear from you, right? And get them to open up, right? As any salesperson, you want them to open up so you can understand what they care about and then relate to them on that aspect. For the question about notification of everyone, I know specifically for the WelcomeHome integration, we can have those leads notify as many people as we need to in the database. So we have unlimited users, so we can have the notifications go out. I can't say the same for a fact about all these CRM integrations, but I would assume so. But we want you want as many people to be notified as of that lead that is applicable. So I would say that is a goal to have with a CRM integration. Olivia, anything else on that one?
No, I think it may be dependent on your CRM. So I think definitely just asking those questions can help with that as well. So a couple of questions just to kind of tie them together. It's asking about that initial process of starting with the CRM. So let's assume that we have some folks here who are not on a CRM platform today. If they were to start that process, Teddy, would they be able to add in their existing leads, or would it just be from newer leads from that point on?
That's a fantastic question. Yeah, so basically, with the Welcome Home process, which I'll speak of because I know that the best, we will take all of your leads, all of your data that you have in whatever, if you're on Excel, if you're in another CRM, we will take all that data and we will import it for you, and we will clean it up for you. So that way, when you maintain that, or when you initiate that caring.com Welcome Home integration, we know what leads you already have, and then that duplicate checker goes into play, so that if you get a lead that is already in there, you can go ahead and have the duplicate checker be there. We also have a universal search bar, so you can just start typing in anything and it'll pull up. So if it's a name like John Smith, right, the duplicate checker will probably let that slide because there could be a million John Smiths. So you can just quickly search the universal search bar for any additional information that you may have found out, and then you'll know, guess what, I actually talked to this lead in October of 2020, and you'll have that information for you so that you understand what's going on. So yes, we want to take all your data, put it in, clean it up for you, and give you a great starting point, and really leverage you to be more effective. Like I said, we're driving occupancy higher, as well as saving about 6 hours on average per week per user.
Awesome. And, kind of a similar question of, I am a partner of caring.com. How do I get the CRM initiated? So it depends. If you have an existing one today, get in contact with our team and we will let you know if that already has an integration set up. And then it's a quick kind of flip to get you connected. If you haven't already decided on a CRM, I think there are several options out there, but asking the question of, do you integrate already with Caring can help you with that. And Welcome Home is an example of one that you can work with.
Absolutely, yes. If you are exploring, you can certainly reach out to myself or go to the Welcome Home website, or you can Google Welcome Home software and see all the Google reviews. They're all 5 stars, spoiler alert. But you want to go ahead and initiate that process. And then for any CRM, right, first and foremost, if you are not using a CRM today, whether it's Welcome Home or not, I encourage you to reach out to CRM companies in the senior living space, because all the partners in the space, we all feel the same way. We want to help you. So whether it's Welcome Home or not, you should be using a CRM because it's just going to make your life so much easier. And then I've obviously am biased on our CRM. So, but I think that's a great way to start. And then yes, reach out to caring.com specifically if you are using a CRM and you don't know that it's not connected.
Absolutely. And we have another question here of, I do not have the portal for caring.com and can I get registered? If you are a partner with caring.com today, simply reach out to your account manager or partner success at caring.com to work on getting you access, and we can certainly set that up for you. And then I think this is probably a good question to wrap up today. And any other specific questions that we didn't get to, we'll certainly be reaching out directly over email. But say you have a great sales team and they are really working leads and they've got a lot of correspondence back with caring advisors, and you don't feel like you are receiving that level of correspondence back. Certainly reach out to, when I say reach out, of course, if the family advisor isn't getting back to you, either your account manager or partner success at caring.com can certainly help you out in making sure that feedback is noted and addressed, and we continue to build up your profile and how we qualify leads for your partnership. So
Olivia, there's just one other question that I'll hit on. Was about if you're the question was, I currently use the PCC CRM. Could I use Welcome Home and have Welcome Home integrate with PCC EHR? The answer is yes. Welcome Home has a bilateral integration with PCC as well as pretty much everything else. So if you have a CRM that isn't currently capable, but your company is dead set on certain EHRs and billing platforms, Welcome Home is able to bilaterally integrate with those things.
Perfect. Well, glad we could address that one live too. So thank you all so much for submitting those questions. And please do follow up if you're continuing to kind of explore or curious about CRM platform integrations. If you would like to contact WelcomeHome, we have some information here for you. You can visit welcomehomesoftware.com or call the number here or email either of the email addresses listed here. And Teddy is gracious enough to give his own. He definitely wants to hear from you, so feel free to reach out.
Yeah, and in terms of practicing what I preach, if you just want to email me, I'll do my best to get speed to lead, and I'll try to respond as fast as I possibly can. So you can put me to the test if you need to.
There you go. Keep him honest. See how he does. And then, we always want to hear from you here at Caring as well. So if you have any feedback about today's webinar, what's going to happen is as it concludes, a survey will pop up in your window. So please give us any feedback you have on the presentation today or what you'd like to hear from us in the future. You will also see here our phone number listed. If you are not currently a partner with Caring, you can reach out to sales@caring.com to get in touch. And as I mentioned, if you are a partner and you have any of those follow-up questions like we talked through in the Q&A section, please do reach out to partnersuccess@caring.com, and we're happy to help. You can stay up to date on these webinars and other trainings that are happening by following us on LinkedIn, as well as visiting our industry site, partners.caring.com. I want to thank everyone for joining us today and being so engaged in today's presentation. But with that, we will let you all get back to the commendable work of helping seniors, and we hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank y'all.